With the last pick in this year's draft.
Before I get into the meat and potatoes of this video, I just want to say some of y'all may have seen my face before on other channels. And that's because I do have other channels, but I decided to make this channel the undrafted channel to talk about sports going forward.
Nobody cares! Nobody!
With that being said, I gotta talk about the New Orleans Saints. I've been a fan of the New Orleans Saints since 1999, and I feel the same way now that I did back then. Whenever the New Orleans Saints would lose a game, I would have to take a week's time away from the team to get my mental in order. Imagine being that much of a fan of a team or a fan of anything in general that you have to remove yourself from all things pertaining to that item for a week.
Shit.
That's been my fandom. But what I've come to realize about this year's New Orleans Saints team is that I don't know what the heck they are doing. They do some bad things and then they follow up by doing something great. Like Alvin Kamara resigning with the team. I wholeheartedly think that Alvin Kamara deserves every dollar of that contract. We saw what he could do with a competent team, competent play calling. He is still one of those dudes running the football. And I wholeheartedly agree that if he goes to another team, let's say the Kansas City Chiefs, he would be a all-pro or he would be a Pro Bowl caliber running back. And I know a lot of people are questioning the fact that he's almost 30. We know what this man can do with the right opportunity and the right offensive lineman. The New Orleans Saints also picked up a receiver, Marquez Valdez. And there's something about New Orleans and picking up receivers that first name rhyme with their last name. Don't get me wrong, I'm cool with the pickup, but it doesn't move the needle the slightest. I would say he's more of a second or third option receiver. I believe Rashid Shaheed does the things that he could do. Maybe more so he can do the 50-50 jump ball because he is like 6'4". But I still feel like Rashid Shaheed can give you the production that he will give you going forward. Even with that being said, I'm still very perplexed about the front office of this organization. I want to believe that Mickey Loomis knows what he's doing and that he's keeping his decisions close to his chest until the end of the season. Last year, he said he does not make in-season decisions because he's too emotional.
What?
Whatever the heck that means. So I'm going to assume that if he's going to make a coaching decision, it's going to be at the end of the year. However, I still don't know what direction this team is going in. If you are planning to get a new coach at the end of the year, wouldn't a top 5 pick look real appetizing to a new coach coming in?
Yep.
Are we really trying to win out? Right now, the New Orleans Saints are sitting at 2-5. In order for Dennis Allen to get to his last year's record, he would have to go 7-3 for the remaining games.
Oh!
Do I believe he will go 7-10? Absolutely not. But do I think they'll win more games? Absolutely. And that's the purgatory that the New Orleans Saints sit in. They're always good enough, but not good enough, if that makes any sense.
Hell no.
Meaning they're good enough to not pick in the top 10, but they're also not good enough to go to the playoffs, which leaves you in this weird purgatory. You're not good enough to get in the playoffs, so you're left with nothing, but you're also not trash enough to get a top pick and restart. Which brings us to the next game against the Chargers. Do I think the New Orleans Saints beat the Chargers? I don't know. I truly don't know at this point. I want to say with the returning pieces of Taysom Hill, Cesar Ruiz, and that boy Chris Olave, that the team might actually do something on offense now.
Like, respectfully.
But at the same time, offense was never the problem.
Boy, if you don't...
It was the defense that was allowing all this nonsense to happen. Of course, we are missing our 2 starting cornerbacks, but I do believe Marshawn Lattimore will play. And also Kool-Aid McKinstry will start on the side that Paulson Adebo was on. The whole time, the only 2 injuries that they were having was Pete Warner being out and Kalen Saunders. But the New Orleans Saints are averaging 14 missed tackles a game. So you mean to tell me Pete Warner and Kalen Saunders is the reason why we can't tackle?
I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked.
I refuse to believe that. A part of me really wants to believe that the team is giving up on Dennis Allen and Dennis Allen really needs to go. However, I do think he should lay in the bed that he made. And to elaborate on what I mean by that, I think DA should ride out the season with the team that he's created. And I echo the same exact sentiments as anyone in the Who Dat Nation that wants this guy fired. But we have to come to the realization that this guy will not be fired this season. If you are a fan of the Saints and are a part of the Who Dat Nation, all I can really tell you is buckle up because it's far from over. Man, it's getting so bad that people are sending out fake tryout letters so people could come try out for the team. If you went to Airline Drive looking to try out for the New Orleans Saints, I honestly feel sorry for you. But then again, who am I to say I never got drafted?